Welcome to the tutorial. Today we're building this little Class B ship here. I like to call it an Explorer class. Basically has a workshop and plenty of storage, as well as it is a tough fighter with lots of firepower, which I will show off right now, and we will go find somebody to dogfight with.
Let me show you how it's done.
Now that we have that little fight out of the way, you saw what the ship can do. Let's go ahead and do a quick walkthrough here. So this does tend to be my favorite cockpit. I like the way it looks. As well, it holds an 8-man crew, so you don't need to add any crew stations at all, because 8-man crew. Alrighty, so we're gonna head back here, and we have our armory right behind the bridge there. It does lead to the landing bay access, and then up above is the docker. It does have just one level. That's just a companionway up there. Then off here to the port side, we have our infirmary, and we have our workshop. Then heading over to the starboard side here, we have a living quarters and a captain's quarters. Now, of course, you can use whatever habs you want. These are the ones I find the most useful. As well, I like the Deimos layout, the way it's laid out on the interior. Of course, you can use whatever habs you prefer. Tayo, Nova, whatever. Alright, let's go ahead and get to building this ship. To start this build, we're going to need to shoot over to Valo. And from there, we're going to go to Polvo and then Hopetown. A little side note here, when you are building a new ship and you don't quite have access to, let's say, experimental parts yet, and you're wanting to build a new ship, so you can go around and find a ship to purchase and use to build your new ship with. As you can see here, this one has a 40 reactor, which is the top tier reactor. If you don't yet have access to experimental parts, you can run around and find a ship like this that has a 40 reactor. Of course, we're building a B-class ship, but if you're doing a sacrificial, like I say, go around, find one that has a part that you can't quite get yet, and use that. So here it would be a reactor with a 40 power limit. Once in Hopetown, we're going to want to get some parts here. We're not going to build the whole ship here. We just need a few parts, and then we'll move on to the Diemos Staryard, where we'll do most of the build at. So the parts that we're going to need here is we are going to need the landing bay. I've already purchased it here, but we want the Fore landing bay. Then we are going to need a couple of corridor habs that we can get from here. In order to attach them, I'm just going to throw a Companionway in right here. Just give me something to attach these to. So we're going to want 2 of these cross bases. I'm just going to throw one there and there. Then we're also going to want 2 of these spines. Next, we are going to want to get our engines from here. And we're going to need 6 of these engines. So the ones we're going to want is the SA-43 30s. We're going to want 6 of them, and we're just going to have to figure out how to stick 6 engines on this thing. Doesn't matter what they're shaped like, as long as they all fit. I switch this around this way. Will that work? No, that one's not attached. Okay, wait a minute. Do that. Do that. There we go. Okay, yep. We need the square one, but facing that way. There we go. There we go. Now we've got 6 ships. What's our warning? Okay. Missing weapon assignments. Don't care about that. There we go. Those are the parts we'll need from here. So next we will be heading to the Deimos Staryard. Next we're going to travel from Valo over to Seoul. And we're going to want to go to the Deimos Staryard. Whoops. Now that we made it to Deimos, the real building can begin. So first thing we're going to want to do is let's go ahead and remove the parts that we bought in Hopetown. The main things we need, make sure we keep, are these cross braces and these front braces, or our habs rather. Then we're going to want to move that crap out of the way too. We're going to want to save our engines, and then lastly, don't forget to save the landing bay. So the rest of this we can just get rid of. And to start with, we are going to place our landing bay. I'm just going to stick it over here out of the way. Bear with me here, I'm keeping track of what all needs to be done and where, so if I pause for a moment or two while I check my list here, keep track of where I'm at. First thing we're going to want to place is our shield generator. And for the shield generator, since this is a B class, I went with the 28T Defender shield generator, which gives us, there it is, 1500. We're going to want to put this on the left front right there. Next thing we're going to want to put is our helium tanks. And I went with the H40 Atlas helium tanks. One right there, and we're going to plop one on the other side. Now we're ready to start placing our habs. So first hab I want to place is going to be an armory. Of course, you can use whatever habs you want. And I went with a 2x1. You want it set kind of forward right there, not towards the back. Now, we're going to want to go to structural, and we're going to want to get one of these Deimos Hull A's that will attach to the top there, which will allow us to attach our next part, which is going to be our cargo. My go-to cargo is this Galleon S204. Because of its size, and you can hook in all stuff all the way around it. Now, we're going to want to use our cross braces we got, one on each side of the armory towards the front. And then our hab spines, they go off the front there like that. Now we're going to want to hook up our infirmary next. So we're going to go back to habs. And I went with the infirmary here. You can go with a science lab if you want. Right, here we're going to go with a workshop. Pharmacy lab. In the infirmary we can make med kits and stuff, and then a workshop behind that. Next, let's go ahead and build out the second side with our habs. So what I went with here was a living quarters. And then behind the living quarters, I put the captain's quarters. Of course, use whatever habs you want, does not matter. Now let's go ahead and stick the cockpit on. As usual, I am using my favorite cockpit, the DS40.2 Ares Bridge. Mainly because it has a crew capacity of 8, so you don't have to add other habs for crew capacity. Okay, now we are going to add some gear. These gear are actually going to end up being temporary. So we're going to put one of them right there, one of them on our hab. This one's going to go at the rear of the infirmary, and then we want to do one on the other side at the rear of the living quarters. Now, where next hab is going to go up a level. Reason for this is we want to go ahead and get our ladders established. So that one's going to go there. This is really a one-level ship. This is the only thing on the second level. And then last thing going up there is we want to place a docker. I'm calling it temporary, but you can keep this one or switch it over to the Nova that we're going to go to next. Now, for looks, we want to go down to our structural, and we want a Deimos Wing A. There we go. On each side, right behind the bridge there on each side of the spine. Now we're going to want some more of these Hull A's. We want one there, and a third one there. Now to finish out the look of the top, we want a Deimos Cowling Fore. Stick it right there and right behind the bridge. Now let's go ahead and stick a reactor in. I went with the Class B 104 DS Mag Inertial. Gonna stick it right behind either side, doesn't matter, but we want it right behind that cross brace right there. Now the Grav drive we're gonna do for the other side. Use whatever Grav drive you want, mainly it just has to be a single level. I went with the RD3000. Gives plenty of jump space. Now we want another Hull A, one on each side right there. Kind of just for filler. Now, this gives us where we can now put our engines in place. And I went with this sort of setup right here for the engines. Now, we need a couple more of these Deimos Wing A's. I'm going to put 2 there. And then we want two there on each side. I think I have the positions correct. We'll see. Now we want to go in with our wing B's. Alrighty. I think I might have one too many there. Now, we need the aft version of these wings. There. And went with one too many all the way around there. There, and get rid of that one there. All right, that is it for here. We will finish this up at Titan. All right, final place to travel to is going to be Titan. We're going to want to go to New Homestead. So it is going to be in Sol System. We were here at Diemos Staryard, so we just need to jump over here to Titan real quick. And then head on to New Homestead. And that's where we will finish the build. Once at New Homestead, we are now ready to do the final part of the build, and we can finish it up. Now, if you want to, you can switch this companionway and this Docker to the Nova version, I would suggest at least doing the Docker just because it's going to fit better with the next parts we're going to put on. So get that changed out. Now, next thing we're going to want to change out is our landing gear to ones that look better. So we can go ahead and get rid of all three of these. Next landing gear we're going to want to actually use is going to be the NG20, which is these right here. And we do want to go ahead and use these forward facing ones in all three positions. So one's going to go there on the, one's going to go there towards the back, and one is going to go there towards the back. Okay, next thing we're going to want to do is go to our structural. Most of our stuff here is going to be from structural, other than our weapons. And what we're going to want here is the Nova Cowling 2L. We want the BF, which is the lower portion of the TF, and just stick it to the front of both of those habs there. Next, we are going to want the (2L). We want the BA towards the aft. Put those behind our landing gear on either side. Like that. Next one we're going to want to go to is we need another one of these TLs, except we're going to want the, our 2Ls. We're going to want the TF's tops. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3 of them there. Next, we are going to want to go with the 2L TMs. We're going to go with 1, 2, 3. Then match it on this side. 1, 2, and 3. Next, we're going to want to finish off our back end, and we're going to go with the (1L), except we want the TA version of it. We're going to need 3 of them. So it's going to be 1, 2, and 3. So 3 of them set like that there. Now we are pretty much built. All we need to do at this point is our weapons. And the way I did this one, I am currently working on my ballistic weapons. So what I went with was the Mauler 1071 autocannons on the front. Where are they hiding? Oh, wait a minute. Where'd B class, that's right. There we go. I went with the Mahler 1071 autocannons. I went with 3 of these. And even though you can't fully power all your weapons, it does make a difference on getting the correct crew size. So as you see, as I add weapons here, our crew size is going to go up. Then I love the missile launchers, and my favorite missile launcher is the Atlatl. And I went with the 280Bs. And again, I have put 3 of them here, but you know. And of course, as you can see, there's tons of places to place weapons. Put them wherever you want. Does not make a bit of difference. There we go. And then finally, to round out so that I have a full set of weapons here, what I went with was I like having weapons pointed out the back. So what I went with was the Disruptor 3320 turret. These turrets are auto-firing, and if you point them out the back end, anything that gets behind you is not going to last very long at all. Okay, that's the ship there. It's a nice little B-class explorer, do little pretty much anything ship. It's got plenty of storage, 8 crew, huge shield, tons of firepower. Hope y'all have fun with the ship, and that's this one. Oops. And of course you do have to actually assign your weapons. I hope y'all enjoyed this ship. Thank you for watching the tutorial. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and I have added a link to my playlist of all my other ship builds. Hope you enjoy.